There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Now there's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware.
My name is Magnus, and I'm from Sweden, from Gothenburg.
My name is Sarah, and I'm from Montreal, Canada.
My name is Mar, I come from Barcelona, Spain.
My name is Christopher, I'm from Belgium. So my name is Hendrik, I'm from Helsinki, Finland.
I'm Catalina Ferrer, I'm from Santiago, Chile.
I'm from Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire.
The bird or the country?
I told my mom I'm going to Turkey. My mom like, Turkey?
A country, I guess, torn between modern and old.
The country is more northern, and the distance between people is bigger. And in Turkey, it's vice versa. It's more close, I would say.
A mixture of races, the mixture of languages, the different foods.
You know, they're very strong about their beliefs, about, you know, their family, very family orientated.
The culture, the mix between the European and Asia, more Christian and Arabic.
We are not as strict with religion as the most part of Arabian countries.
Religious society, traditional society.
The culture is very different, but open-minded at the same time. For a Muslim country, they respect the differences.
People, Persian and Arabia, there is so much different culture in Turkey.
I mean, it's like, so I think it's a very good country, but I also think that you could kind of like make a time travel when you go to Turkey. I've never been to Turkey, so this is only like one what I think of, like what I think it would be like.
Not only the nightlife, but just the cultural diversity in terms of like with the food, just the people, like the open-mindedness towards other cultures.
One of the things that I really enjoyed from Turkey is that feeling of, come on, we will receive you and come visit us.
Guys with a large beard and like really exotic girls. No, like nothing compared to Europe, to like Central Europe.
From the outside, you know, through the media, it's very different from what you get when people actually go there and experience it.
You see the difference of cultures between Western Europe and in Turkey.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. People are hospitable, so whenever you need help, they really will help you.
It was I had a really good impression. I thought it was going to be like really poor and like dirty, all the streets, and like it was really, really nice. I was like surprised.
As I'm feeling not like a native Turk, when walking alone in the streets I will feel a bit unsafe, you know, because you don't know where the other people are talking about, and it's...
There was like several times people would come up to you and ask like to take photos together, and they would take that advantage on me and then like touch me.
A couple of friends that came the last year to like change, they went to Turkey, so when they came back to the university, they were like, oh, you need to go to Turkey, it's so beautiful, Istanbul, the party is really cheap.
One of the things that kind of threw me off a little bit in Istanbul was the way these cultures interact with each other. I mean, you would see in the middle of the street more typical liberal European girl with a more traditional Muslim just talking like friends. I mean, they were friends. They could interact with each other.
Once was a huge empire.
Osman Imperium and development of Islam.
We were occupied by the Ottoman Empire for 400 years.
Turkey was a country that has been conquered over history. It's been ex-Alexandria. You have the Catholics that were expelled from Rome and persecuted by the Romans that used to live there.
Constantinople, like the city that used to be in the middle of those two massive sort of words.
Istanbul was originally Constantinople, if I'm not mistaken.
1453, the Constantinople.
There was a lot of empires that formed or passed through there, and that shaped a lot that culture.
The tie for us is Gallipoli. Everything for us to do with Turkey is related somehow back to Gallipoli. For my country, it was where we found national identity, was in Turkey.
Turkey was the first democratic country in the Islamic world.
The date of independence, I think I would say it was 1923.
So, but then it changed into the Republic of Turkey with a president, and now it's a democratic republic.
Like if I had to name a Turkish big figure in history would be Atatürk. I don't know his first name, but I've heard about all the renewals he did after the First World War.
You know a little bit about Atatürk.
Democracy they made from Atatürk.
Basically, there were problems with Arab Spring all over that part, but when it comes to Turkey, you have president and prime minister, and it's like more democratic than the rest of Islam world.
They wanted to pass a law for the women to wear the headdress, but they were still fighting against it because not everyone supported the idea.
After Gallipoli, there was a move towards secularism and sort of removing religion from politics, but in the last couple of years that's been reversed to a certain extent. So
I think it's only for the media that he just wants everybody out of the country. Feels like, oh my God, Erdogan is so cool, everybody loves him. But then if you ask the Turkish people, they're like, yeah, he's cool, but on the other side we don't like him. Nobody in Turkey likes him. Everybody else likes him, but nobody in Turkey likes him.
I have read in the news recently that you had some protests going on.
I can't remember the name of the square, but I know there was a square surrounded.
Gezi,
yeah.
People who are protesting against the president who is trying to make the country more traditional.
The people were not allowed to have their ideas.
One of my friends told me her friend was killed because you want to remove a park.
The Prime Minister wanted to change one park to a mall. And they wanted to build a mall instead of the park. I think it's not about the mall.
Was using sort of strong measures apparently against these civil rebellions. They were not so civil, they were throwing rocks and stuff, so anything is justified.
I think Erdogan wanted, he had a new rule, I'm not quite sure, about people kissing in public places. You can't tell people not to kiss in public places. You're not in Afghanistan and there's no...
It's about the freedom of mind, of speech to be more democratic, because this word democracy is still not that democratic as it can be.
Well, of course you hear from the media, do hear it from occasional protests. But the thing is, what I always try and keep in mind is it is the media in the end saying it, so you don't know how it's been twisted, how it's been turned.
In elementary school, I had one classmate who was actually a Kurd.
What was her name?
Gurbet.
They want their own country. Yeah. I said the same, the PKK people and the Kurdish.
They are looking or trying to get independence in the region, North Iraq and Turkey, etc.
Yeah, Kurdish people want, there's no Kurdistan, so they want kind of their own country, but...
a terrorist group or a party that commits some terrorist acts and was prohibited in Turkey.
What I've heard is that the situation is going to a better direction.
In recent years, Turkey developed a lot, economically, socially, opened more to the world and became really stable.
If you compare the development with Turkey, for example, to Sweden, maybe, I don't know how many years, but we maybe were in the same situation with the development in the country 50 or 60 years ago. So I think Turkey has kind of an upcoming bright future in that sense.
Right now I think Turkey is going through a very good economic situation and growing, a booming economy somehow, so it's a very interesting place to go.
In terms of growth economies, points towards Turkey, Brazil. So I feel like it is a market that would be a good potential market.
Well, the economy of Turkey is growing faster than the economy of the European Union. So as long as the country is not getting involved in military conflicts to the south of it, then it should grow quite fast and develop quite fast.
It's always discussable if Turkey is more Europe or more Asia, although when it comes to the geographical side, it's like only 3 or 5% belongs to Europe and the rest is Asia.
But of course there are some difficulties because I know that like certain parts of Turkey are quite well off, even when you compare them to Europe. But then some parts are like very poor.
I think Turkey will benefit from joining, and I think they should.
That's why it's all about economic interests. It's not about culture. You know, what's Turkey they're talking about? If Turkey, trust me, if Turkey had the economy of Switzerland and would push to get into the EU.
I think the economic situation wasn't as good as recent years. Maybe now Turkey don't want to get in because they're doing better than the EU.
Many Europeans have fears that a lot of Turkish people could came to Europe or even more. I think that could be an interesting challenge for Europe to accept or to adopt Turkey into the European Union.
I think that the European Union is such a big market at the moment that it should not spread more and such a huge country as Turkey is.
I had the image that the Western people would have about Turkey and the idea of Turkey not wanting to be in European Union.
I don't think that it's illogical that Turkey should be in European Union because it was always the pathway to the Asia or something like this. So
I think that maybe Turkey has a lot of cultural differences, but I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
When you go Germany, out of the world, Italy, lost in jiggly jiggly, Greek that everybody's criticizing, nobody knows about it.
I think there's like two ways to start a union between countries. Either you can start with like a fiscal similarity, like the US, for example. If it's really bad in New Jersey, then you can take tax money and you can from New York and you can put that to New Jersey. Or you can go and do like the more monetary way, that you have like free trade and you have like maybe not like the same currency and kind of start in that sense. And I think that is the hard thing with the European Union right now. That, for example, if it's bad in Greece, they cannot just take a job in Turkey or in Germany or so because like culture barriers. But I think it's really good that as many countries in the world like just get together and do things.